to be inside Washington's most haunted house, the Walker-Ames House.
Leo, thanks for having me on. It's really cool to sit down with you and see what we get into tonight. And yeah, we're in the Walker-Ames House here in Port Gamble. Many consider it to be the most haunted residence in Washington. While we're filming and stuff, I'm going to leave this REM pod kind of right up here.
Okay.
But I think somebody might be curious in a while as with what we're doing.
Yeah, I feel that same feeling that I got the last time. It was right here coming up into it's a tingling.
Yeah, so dude, you're totally feeling the energy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this area, but it, there's just always some sort of feeling here. There's always energy hanging out here.
Yeah.
You want to go up to the attic?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's walk through this way.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the master. So we're going to walk in through the powder room and the bathroom, and then we'll go up to the attic.
Okay.
But just don't turn your camera into the closet.
Okay.
You can film going through, just not in the closet.
Copy that.
This is one of their spaces.
Okay. I respect your space.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. That was the space not to film, right? Okay. I peeked visually, but I didn't. Yeah.
We look in there.
Okay.
We just don't go in there.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
what do you think about this room?
Ooh, like right here. Right here.
So there's energy in here.
Yeah.
So it's very frequent. I'm not gonna say every time, but many times when I walk into this room, you feel it, and then it kind of moves away.
Yeah.
And there's I don't know if it's another imprint on the space or.
Oh, I'm feeling it again.
If it's somebody. Hello. Hey, it's Pete and Leo. Leo's been in here, but it's been a while.
It's nice to be here again. Thank you for letting me come. I appreciate and respect you.
Well, we'll definitely have to keep our ears open.
Yeah.
When we're hopping downstairs.
Oh, yeah. Coming up into this level, I have a slight ringing in my right ear. Woo! Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
We're just here to hang out. Don't mind us, all right?
Hey, kiddos. It's okay. I come in peace. Just here to say hi.
Yeah.
Talk about y'all.
It's really neat. Let's see. Yeah, this weekend, dude.
Oh, I don't notice that.
Hello. Yeah, I haven't been in here too much this month. Well, I guess for the last few weeks. This is kind of the time I try and let the house just take a nice rest.
Yeah, totally. Great time to record a podcast.
Yeah. Well, it feels pretty heavy.
I know, I do. Right. Yeah, as we get close to coming up the stairs, that was where I really, and I'm starting to feel it again.
It'll go away. Hello?
Hello.
Let's see if these do anything weird.
What are those?
Dowsing rods?
Huh. Are you turning those?
No, I'm not.
What? I feel something. Hello.
If somebody's with us and you're moving these, can you move them to the other side? Go ahead and push them over to my left, over here. I mean, I feel a pull. There's something pulling them this way, like. Well, let me get on the other side of you, so stay there.
Yeah, okay.
And let's see if it pulls this way now. So if you notice, I'm trying to hold them kind of at a downward angle.
Yeah.
So they have to work against gravity.
I see, yeah. Yeah.
Are you trying to point at Leo? Do you remember him?
Hey, y'all.
Can you point him there again? Where were you just pulling me to? And I'm not really feeling it.
I was just about to say, I feel like the energy was kind of going away. Oh.
So, something about this spot here.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they cross at some point.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh.
So there's something about this spot.
Whoa.
Here.
Whoa.
Yeah, right? Here, let's try it again.
Whoa.
That's the spot.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
And I could feel it when I was standing there.
Dang, I didn't bring an EMF meter up.
Huh.
But, I mean, it's possible there's some wiring going here, but this stuff...
there's wiring right here
Yeah,
behind
but this
it.
stuff doesn't really register anything.
Okay. Huh.
And my guess is it would be similar wiring. Because I think these cuts was when they installed wiring.
I see.
So there could be like a, side line coming off.
Sure, sure.
But, let's try it again. Let's see.
Yeah.
No, it's getting a pull, but it's a little bit farther over. I'd
Yeah.
say about a foot closer, or a foot farther. Let's see if I go the same distance here. Okay, so nothing there, right?
Interesting.
And I'll cross this here and see what happens.
Seems a little bit further. It seems to be moving
Now
this
it's
direction.
here. Last
Yeah,
time
it was there.
here.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, stepping over here, I'm starting to feel a little bit more.
Well, let me go where you're at now.
Sure.
I feel something there. Let's just see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
I just walked through here.
And it wasn't anything
nothing
before.
registered.
And I came over here again and it felt buzzy.
That's weird.
That's weird. Very curious.
It starts to dissipate close to this.
Huh. That's cool.
What the? No, maybe you're a magnet now.
Maybe. I opened myself to. Yeah.
Weird.
I can feel it. I can definitely feel it. Yeah.
Let's see if it. I mean, look at it, it's still going.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting chills.
Now we're out of it.
Huh.
Weird, man.
Weird. Thank you. Thank you to.
Somebody's here with us. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're hanging out back in there. Come out and play.
We'll be here for a few hours at least, so you're welcome anytime. All right, I'm going to stop recording now. Thanks so much, Pete. This is awesome.
Yeah, man.
Very exciting.
That music even sounds outer spacey, doesn't it? Do you hear that? That whistling sound? Man, we sure is getting high. You want some more brownies? No. Boy, that sure is weird music. Yeah, it sounds like, outer space type music.
Well, Pete, Paranormal Pete, should I say, welcome to Cosmic Creatures. I am honored to be here with you and to be inside Washington's most haunted house, the Walker-Ames House.
Leo, thanks for having me on. It's really cool to sit down with you and see what we get into tonight. And yeah, we're in the Walker-Ames House here in Port Gamble. Many consider it to be the most haunted residence in Washington, although there's hauntings everywhere.
Sure.
But this house certainly has made its way onto the paranormal map around the world, and is just, we think the long-term residents are still here.
Definitely. I mean, we just did a walkthrough, second and then third floor in particular. I could feel energy. It was a buzz, like almost felt like when I'm too close to a Wi-Fi signature or something, like a really...
Or power lines.
Power lines, yes. Yeah.
So that's a great way to learn what we think paranormal energy is. On my tours, I often will ask people, have you ever stood near power lines, or, a large transformer, or... an old refrigerator, it gives you a feeling, right?
Yes.
And so our body's reacting to an electromagnetic field in that situation. And it happens to be a man-made source of electromagnetic field, right?
Yeah.
But our body's feeling it and reacting to it as a physical tell. It's a little different for each person, but the thinking, at least in my experience with the paranormal, is spirits or ghosts, whatever you want to call them, are an independent electromagnetic field. And so how your body is reacting to a man-made electromagnetic field is probably how your body will physically react to an independent electromagnetic field. So if you take that, if you know what the power lines made you feel like, buzzy, right, or whatever it's described as, when you get that feeling walking through a location like this, or sitting at home reading a book, and all of a sudden you get this feeling, to kind of recognize that you're feeling an electromagnetic field. And I think what we experienced when we walked through upstairs, a few different spots, you and I both were kind of like felt, a heaviness in a way.
Yeah, a pressure. I almost felt like a pressure, a buzzy pressure.
Yeah, we were feeling it in the same spots.
Yep.
And
your rods were reacting to it as well.
So we were kind of walking through, just kind of talking about how we're feeling stuff in the same spot.
Yeah.
And then when we went to the attic on the third floor, there was energy up there as well.
Yeah.
And so I took my dowsing rods and these guys right here. And
what are those? They're made out of copper?
So these are copper.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can get these anywhere, sort of thing. But I've had these for quite a while, but they've got a sleeve, I guess, right, on the handle, so that they can easily sway.
Yeah.
And people may have seen these used to find water leaks, or stuff in the water lines in the ground. It's water witching, is what they're used for.
How is the water? conducting an electrical current? Is that why it's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or it's conducive to energy, its movement, its flow,
the
properties of it.
Right.
And
that's what electricity is. It's just a flow of electrons. It's just a flow of energy particles.
So this, when you cross over a water line, if you're out walking around, they'll tend to cross because they're getting a magnetic pull. And so in the paranormal, it's the same sort of thinking. So when you were like, hey, we were in the attic and you kind of were like, oh, now I'm feeling something over here.
Yeah.
So then I asked you to take a step, one way or the other, and I walked through where you were standing, and it was like the same spot. They kept crossing
and moving slightly. It shifted position.
Yeah. Well, when I first tried them out, they pointed right at you.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Pointed right at you, and I was like, okay, well, that was quick. And then I changed my orientation to see if it would do it again. And then I had you move over, and in the spot you were standing where you said you felt something, they kept crossing.
Yeah.
And then you moved a few feet over to another spot and said, oh, now I'm starting to feel something over here. So then I had you move again, and we were getting hits on that same spot after I had just walked through that area.
Right.
And got nothing.
Right.
And then you went and stood there and said, now I'm feeling something.
Yeah.
And they started to cross. That was
a different
interesting.
Position. Yeah, definitely.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
So that's what we were using when we did our walk through there. That was fun.
So how did you get into the paranormal? What was your introduction? What led you on this path?
Well, I was really enjoyed history and learning about history. So, that's probably what got me into it. Coming to Port Gamble, a place full of history, at least for Washington State. It was here since 1853, way before Washington became a state. So there's a lot of history here, and my wife and I moved here in like 2007, and you'd hear about ghost stories, kind of just around town. People would talk about it, and the town manager at the time, she had started ghost walk tours as an event.
Yeah.
And when I started working here in 2011, she didn't want to really continue doing them herself, and so some of us in the weddings team for the town were doing it. And so then I kind of came in and, hey, this is great, and then all of a sudden I'm doing the tours and been doing them since 2011.
And you run the ghost conferences as well, right?
I'm the coordinator for the ghost conference here.
Yeah.
This year it's November 7th through the 9th.
Okay,
and
cool.
It's our 16th annual, which I think makes it the oldest ghost conference on the West Coast.
Wow.
So I've been coordinating it since the 2nd.
Nice.
But just being here in Port Gamble and hearing stories and then meeting people who investigate, paranormal investigators, and meeting some mediums and people active in the field of the paranormal really kind of got me into it. And plus, when I started doing the tours, I always talk about how I was an open skeptic when I started doing the tours, open to having experiences because I knew I had experiences growing up.
Right.
Open to it, but skeptical in the sense of, I want to get a piece of audio and a piece of video or a photograph, or maybe a combination of types of data that will corroborate something that you just witnessed or experienced.
And
right?
I love this spectrum that you have. It's actually one of my questions. You have a spectrum that goes from skeptic to open skeptic to believer.
Correct.
Right.
That's simplified.
Sure.
I think that's very simplified.
Okay.
But yeah, I was kind of right in the middle, starting doing this.
I am as well. Yeah.
I mean, where we're sitting right now in this house, I was just having so many personal experiences along with people on the tour and coworkers, just having so many experiences that within months I was a believer.
Yeah.
Just too many experiences that I was like, I know what I just experienced, I can't explain that.
Okay, I guess I'm a believer then. I guess I'm a believer.
Yeah. I mean, there's a
evidence,
line.
though. I'm like you. I want evidence.
Yeah.
Right. Not because I need it, but because it's essential for the skeptics, right? I want to reach across the aisle and say, hey, I know you might be skeptical of this. You might not, you might not have had your own experiences.
Sure.
I want to present you some evidence, some data that, you work so hard to collect.
Yeah. Well, and I think of it, in that way as well, but not just for the skeptics, but for the advancement of the field. The advancement of the search for the afterlife, the answers, right? The advancement of the field of the paranormal. It's, not recognized by mainstream science.
Right.
May never be.
I hope that changes.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's physicists out there starting to maybe look at paranormal theories, out there. I think, at the Hadron Collider and, finding the existence of other realms.
Yes, extra
you
dimensional.
kind of get into, I think, the paranormal world at that point.
Yeah.
So, collecting evidence is awesome, not just for the skeptics, but just for having the data out there.
Yeah.
So that maybe someday mainstream science will take a good, serious look at what paranormal investigators have been doing. There's all kinds of tools and meters and things like that. We don't really know what works the best.
Sure.
I try not to use a whole lot of different types of tools.
Yeah.
But
what kind of tools do you use? That's also one of my questions.
Audio recorder.
Yeah. Just like your standard audio, just an audio.
Yeah,
okay.
I actually have one right here.
Oh, perfect.
So this is a Sony $25 digital audio recorder.
Heck yeah.
So, I love to take audio. I've played music all my life, so audio, I like to work with audio.
Yeah.
More so than video.
Yeah.
So you're probably a guy that would want to review the 8 cameras of DVR footage from a night in an investigation.
Yeah.
I don't like to do that.
For sure. Yeah.
I like the audio. So I tend to focus more on audio.
Yeah.
But I will say, if I'm investigating something and the claims are very visual, then yes, I'll bring my full spectrum camera and try and take photos and some video.
What's a full spectrum camera?
So a full spectrum camera takes UV light, infrared light, and naked eye spectrum.
Electro-optical.
Yeah. All at once.
Ah,
and
cool.
So,
and it blends it together into
so it kind of looks
cool.
like purple.
Yeah.
Is generally what you see.
Yeah.
But when you get an anomaly that maybe you're not seeing in
With the
our
naked
normal
eye.
spectrum,
Yeah.
it'll show up bright white or pitch black.
Interesting.
And so you might catch entities or anomalies that you're not seeing live in the moment.
Right.
And so I'll say whatever equipment you want to use should be geared towards whatever you're investigating. So a lot of what I like to investigate is audio type stuff. And so I'm always, got my audio. I like to use electromagnetic field meters. This is a digital tri-field.
Okay, EMF, right?
Yeah, electromagnetic field.
I'm so curious about these. I've heard of them. I've seen them used on whatever that Ghost Adventure show is.
And I'm not a tech guy by any stretch of the
Sure.
meaning. However, a tool that electricians will use is maybe a good one to use for the paranormal.
Yeah, it's obviously practical because they use it.
It's practical, and they do use it to find electrical lines, and it's detecting an electromagnetic field. Well, with the thinking being spirits are, a soul or whatever is, an independent electromagnetic field, you want to use that tool that can measure electromagnetic fields to try and find them, right?
Yeah.
So I like to use that as well. I also like to use a spirit box.
That's also called a talk box.
Yeah. Frank's box is what
Frank's
it originally
box.
was.
Okay.
But,
Nice.
Something like this. It's a very, I think it's a very polarizing piece of equipment.
Sure.
In the field of investigation, I think you either love it or you hate it. That's kind of what I hear. I love using it, or you hear, it's BS.
How does it? What do the critics say?
So, the research is based in what's called instrumental transcommunication. And the research on that started when radio waves were starting to be used.
Okay.
And so it's like you're trying to get it. These devices nowadays, what they do is they scan radio frequencies. It's like hitting the seek button on your car radio,
Okay.
but not letting go. But you can set the speed and direction forward or backward. You can go AM, FM. Some devices you can do it all at once.
Okay, so I because I listened to your first episode, and when you used that, it has this almost like almost stereoscopic kind of feel to it. It's like
Yeah, and there's or it's
phasing.
it's got kind of a staticky.
Yeah. So it's shifting between different electromagnetic.
It's basically
frequencies?
just going up and down the radio dial. I like to use AM because there's just less going on than FM.
Right.
So it'll start at 5:30 AM and go all the way to the top of the dial and then circle back. And
so it's actually using like radio frequencies?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I believe the thinking is, your sound is energy.
Yeah.
Sound waves are energy.
Right.
I think in my experience and how I think things come through with it is something from the other side of things tunes into that frequency and then they can speak through it. And
it's like a transmission medium.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's so coincidental. And so I believe through investigation tactics, like how you use it, you can possibly put some controls on your session that you're doing, because anybody could be saying anything on the radio at any time.
That was my
right?
question: is how do we know that it's not picking up actual channels?
Well, it's kind of funny, but one of the best ways it's not is if you start getting sworn at.
Right, because the
and you hear
FCC,
the F word,
they
right?
don't allow that. Okay,
right. So swearing
Interesting.
is a good indication, especially the F word.
Yeah,
that something is coming through that's not on the regular radio. You can ask questions that make it kind of hard, like try and trick things, or like what I'll do is I'll say, "Hi, my name is Pete. If somebody's here with us, can you say hello back to me?" And if something says, "Hi, Pete," then I'll say, "Oh, well, thank you. I didn't quite hear you. Can you say it again?"
Oh my God.
And if you get it again, then you try another question.
Yeah.
Like one I like to do that I've learned over the years is count however many is in your group with you. Count them up mentally and then ask, how many people are here to see you right now? And if you get a number and you get the correct number of people, continue on with that.
Right. Like, what's the probability that you're randomly scanning a radio and it can say the name of whoever is asking it, or can count the number of people that are there? That's, I'm not a statistician, but it's got to be astronomical.
So I think, skeptics in the paranormal would say, a device like that, unless you're listening to every radio frequency and recording every radio frequency for the duration of your session.
I see. And then comparing it
and then
filter it out.
Going back to see if it was on the radio, if it's something that came through that blipped on there, if that was on the radio. That would be insane.
That would be insane.
To try and do that.
What if AI could do that? You do some sort of agentic
maybe.
AI that's, can parse all that data,
Yeah, you're talking about a lot of data to go through at that point.
Right.
So, I kind of see both sides of it. Like, it can be very coincidental.
Yeah.
But I think if you try and ask those questions, I think I hear somebody.
I
don't think it's in here. I think it's outside.
Okay.
We are in this location.
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah. It's
yay.
But if you keep asking questions, like, hey, I've got a flashlight. What color is the power button? What color is this button I'm pointing at?
Yeah.
And if it's blue, then you get the word blue
to come through.
Find something that's a different color. Hey, what color am I pointing at?
Yeah.
And if it says that color, okay, well, I said my name earlier. What's my name? And if it says your name, you see what I mean? If you keep you can kind of maybe try and control the situation in that sense with what you're asking, how you're asking. So it can be quite interesting. I've had some interesting evidence come through on it.
Yeah.
Maybe in a little bit we'll play some where they say my name through it, and
I think maybe now's a great time just because we're talking about it. Let's go. Let's jump right into it if you don't mind. Yeah.
Well, since you asked, I love playing this stuff for people just to kind of show, you know, how it can work, what it sounds like. So here's one where I ask a question. And so again, when I start my sessions, I always say, you know, this is what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. If I ask a yes question or a no question, I would really love it if you said my name along with it, or whoever is asking the question, can you say their name along with your answer so that they know that you're directly addressing them? You know, I'll kind of try and set the rules, you know, say this sort of thing. So this was a session that was here upstairs, and I asked a question and got a direct response. Across the street. I'll play it for you
one more
again.
time. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Did you live across the street?
Yes, Pete.
Yeah. The weird part about that one is I was expecting a female to answer because I was asking about a female spirit here.
Yeah.
And if they lived across the street from this house. But a male seemed to answer.
For sure. Definitely a male. Yeah.
Yeah.
And instantaneously.
Right that
away.
Was quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes, so when you're asking questions on a device like that, or even just you're recording audio and you're asking questions, you want to give space.
Yeah.
Give time for an answer, because on the other side, I think it takes a lot of energy to get sound to come through.
Yeah.
And so it might take a little bit of time for somebody to build the energy to say something.
Yeah.
Here's another one that, so you'll hear my friend Mary Bethune from Olympic Peninsula Paranormal Society. I've done a lot of investigating with her and that team. And so this is over in the post office building here in Port Gamble, but underneath where the morgue used to be. So she's basically asking, hey, do you want to talk to somebody else?
Yeah.
And the ghost box is going, so it's very loud. You'll hear it. And then just listen to what it says.
Speak to somebody else?
The no?
Nope, I'll play it again for you.
Sorry.
Speak to somebody else?
So she's asking, do you want to speak to somebody else? I was standing near her.
Yeah.
And then a teammate, Mike, was standing on the other side of me. And it answers, Pete, Pete. The third one might be my teammate repeating what she heard.
Yeah.
And then the last one it says through the radio is Mike.
Okay, can I hear
so
that
it says
again?
Pete, 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 Mike.
Okay, let me hear that again.
Speak to somebody else?
Oh my God, I heard that. Holy, Pete,
That was a pretty cool one.
Pete, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Holy shit. That is so cool. Whoa.
So there's
Ooh, spooky.
some of what, the ghost box sounds like.
Yeah. So those were both ghost box. Right?
Those definitely have the ghost box going.
Okay.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
Here's another one that the ghost box is running. This is upstairs here. And although I think this is a disembodied voice, I'm not sure it came through the radio. I can't really tell. You can hear it running, but you'll hear me react to the voice. So I heard it like, whoa, do you hear that?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, wrong one. It's this one.
Hello, you hear that?
So it's that young girl sounding voice. She says, hey there.
One more time.
And it was just, I'm not sure it came through the radio.
Okay.
Hello, you hear that?
Hey there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I reacted like I heard it.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, hey, did you hear that?
Yeah. Do you have so I was listening to that first episode that you did. Do you have the footsteps recording? The one with the footsteps? And that was just audio, right? That's not voice box. That was just audio recording?
That's just audio going. So this is over in the theater building.
And the doors were locked.
Yep.
The doors were locked.
Okay, somebody had to have gotten...
I hear running upstairs.
Okay, now I'll give context.
Yeah. And then play it again.
So we're in the
so
basement
cool.
of this building. It used to be the town's morgue. And we did have the building locked upstairs. A group of us are down underneath. And I think it might have been a Halloween night thing. But out of nowhere, we hear footsteps come down the hallway above us on the main floor of the post office.
Yeah.
And they seem to walk right over us and turn where the bathrooms are. You can see all the plumbing underneath.
Yeah.
And so they walked right over top of us and went in the bathroom, and then you hear the toilet lid get set down. And then a couple more steps after that, like somebody's getting situated to sit down.
Yeah.
And I after the audio stops, I think I said something like, wow, somebody really had to go to the bathroom. Because they kind of sound like they were walking fast.
Yeah.
But then we're like, wait a minute. We never heard a door open or close.
Yeah.
And you would have heard a door open or close where we were.
Right.
Everything is so loud down there.
Yeah.
So part of the group exited the area with me to go see if the doors were locked, or if maybe somebody who works in the building, maybe they came in. Right. So we just wanted to go see. And the remaining members of the group stayed down there. And, you know, we heard somebody go into the bathroom and sit down.
Yeah.
Right. We would expect to hear somebody hopefully flush, maybe wash their hands, hopefully.
Right.
At the very least, you would expect to hear somebody exit the bathroom.
Yes.
Nobody ever heard anybody exit the bathroom
Did you
or flush or the sink or anything.
Did you check the toilet seat to see if it had actually physically gone
I
down?
didn't, because I'll tell you what happened. So my group, we went up, the doors were locked still. So I unlocked, we go in thinking, well, maybe somebody locked it behind them. They're in an office space in here. So people started knocking on doors in this building, and nobody's answering. I went straight towards the men's room because that's where it sounded like the footsteps went. And when I went to go in there, it was like putting two magnetic north poles together. It was such a strong resistance, I guess, I would say. I felt like I couldn't physically walk through the doorway.
Whoa.
I remember my muscles felt really tense, and I just couldn't move forward.
Yeah.
And then, so I said to everybody else, hey, come down here. I'm like stuck.
Yeah.
And by the time others got down there, whatever was in there energy-wise was gone. And I was able to go in, and I was just kind of freaked out about the feeling and not being able to move when I'm trying to move.
Yeah.
And so I didn't check the toilet seat because I was kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
But I think most of them didn't believe me that I was stuck in the doorway, because by the time they got down there, everything felt normal.
Yeah. Seeing is believing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right? Which is
So that was kind of funny. I think it was a
Yeah.
good laugh, but we never heard nobody heard anything come out of the bathroom. And even standing in the doorway of this particular bathroom, you can see all the way to the end of the bathroom, and there was no feet. There was like nobody was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
When we got in there, and nobody heard anybody ever leave the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So let me play it for you again.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Yeah.
Now that I've long-windedly
No,
described it.
It's an awesome ghost story. I love it.
Okay, somebody had to have gotten...
I hear running upstairs.
It's so funny. I mean, those footsteps are so clear and pronounced, and they are moving fast, as you said.
Absolutely, and they were captured on a really nice, I think it was at the time, an H4.
Oh, yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah, the Zoom H4, yeah.
And my buddy Mikey Haslip captured that one.
Nice.
Local music legend guy.
Oh, cool.
Mikey, yeah. So he was recording that, and I captured that, and it is so loud on the recording, and that's what it sounded like to us. It was like, geez. Somebody really had to go to the bathroom.
It's a
you know?
lead-footed ghost.
It's a lead-footed ghost. Yeah, that was pretty cool. But I want to go back to kind of what we talked about in the beginning a little bit, because we talked about open skeptic and believer.
Yeah.
But we really didn't hit on skeptic so much. But I wanted to touch on believer. Would you say you're a believer because of experience?
Purely, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's what pushed me. Before I had my UFO, orb encounters and the light entity encounter, my buddy Reed would, he would call me and be like, "Did you see the new UFO vid?" And I'm like, that's a government psyop. I was so, again, I'm like, seeing is believing, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I tried CE5. It was a resounding success. And yeah, now, yes, I'm for sure a believer. I trust myself. I trust my experiences.
Yeah.
And was able to film some of them. So I know that I wasn't hallucinating,
Yeah.
which is obviously the first thing that people ask is like,
Right.
were you on drugs? Kind of, like those kinds of questions, which, it's,
But you know what you experienced.
I know what I
and
experienced.
I think you said something really important there, that you trust your own experience, right?
Yeah.
And, when I ask people if they're an open skeptic, or raise your hand if you're a believer, and, and people will raise their hand, then I say, keep your hand up if it's because of a personal experience. Very rarely does somebody put their hand down.
Yeah.
It's because they had an experience. And that illustrates something interesting that you kind of touched on there.
Yeah.
Is it illustrates the power of a personal experience.
Yeah.
The impact of a personal experience. Seeing is believing.
Yes.
Right? And, with that, in the field of the paranormal, that's wonderful to have a personal experience, but we also have to remember we're human.
Right.
And you can be as sober as can be, and we're still flawed.
Yeah.
Right. And so we always have to remember that. But it's always often you become a believer because of a personal experience.
Right.
So, but on the other side, there's skeptics.
Yes.
And I think skeptics are probably one of the most important elements of researching the paranormal.
For sure.
Because if you don't have skeptics involved in what you're doing, or it can get really wild.
Yeah, right. It flies. The car goes off the cliff. So to speak.
Basically. Yeah. See you guys later.
Yeah.
So it's. I've always advocated, like, you have to have skeptics. You have to. You should listen to the skeptics. Mm-hmm. It's great to have them on investigations with believers and open skeptics, because their minds are geared towards finding logical, analytical explanations of things.
Right.
Oftentimes, skeptics worked in analytics, numbers, doctors.
Yeah.
They work
logic-driven creatures.
They work in numbers and data analysis, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I usually find them. But those you got to have them. And I always say how lucky I am that when I started my journey into the paranormal thing, in 2011, I got exposed to what I think are some of the best skeptics in the Pacific Northwest.
Awesome. And
have been longtime friends with them.
Good.
But I learned observation and, some investigation techniques as a skeptic, and investigating pragmatically.
Yeah.
And using the scientific method, right? And so I'm a full believer.
Yes.
I'm proud to say it, but I've learned how to do things in a skeptical way, which is, I think, the best place to be.
It's the most effective.
And I always, joke that I'm more skeptical of the living than dead. So I think that's a good place to be also.
Yeah.
I'm way more skeptical of the living than the dead.
Because there are a lot of charlatans out there who, are...
There's a lot of people out there that really believe their experiences.
Yeah.
And mental health is
a part of the conversation.
Always a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's important that if you're a paranormal investigator and you are not a doctor, to make sure whoever you're working with knows you're not a doctor and you're not there to diagnose anything.
For sure.
But it should be a part of the conversation. But, you know, I think as long as you approach the paranormal with an open mind, you can be as skeptic as possible. But I think if you approach it with an open mind, you might have some experiences, and it'll be much more interesting than not. So I just kind of wanted to go back to that and just bring in the skeptic side of it, because it's very important. Just like in any scientific experiment, you know you have to be skeptical about what you're doing, and you have a hypothesis and you want to test it, and you know, through testing you're being skeptical, and once you get results, you're skeptical of those results. And you know, so it's important to have that element in paranormal research and stuff. Now, as far as like mediumship goes and psychic work, I mean, my mantra is, we don't know much. I say this on my podcast, we don't know much and anything's possible. Yeah. And so I think if you're a skeptic, but you can remember that, that's a good place to be. I
love that, because I wanted to bring up, potentially to add to your spectrum, pseudo-skeptics, if you've ever heard of the term pseudo-skeptics. So Marcello Truzzi, he was the founder of what has become the Skeptical Inquirer, which was essentially created to debunk paranormal phenomenon.
Right.
He himself coined the term pseudo-skeptic. Now, that's a person who uses essentially pre-existing dogma to debunk something without actually using the scientific method to debunk it. They just say that's not possible because, you know, we know that there's no such thing as a soul or a spirit, but without actually going out and using tools to gather data, to look at the evidence. So many people, I think, are pseudo-skeptics and they don't even realize it. Yeah. They have their biases. They just rely on what they've been told, and they don't engage with the reality that we know very little. And there's so much that we don't understand. You know?
So much that we're not even perceiving.
Yes.
That we just can't even perceive.
With our 5 little senses. Yeah. In this dimension. This 3D plus time dimension.
Yeah. I think we all have 6 senses, but it just gets buried.
I think so too.
Over time. I think we all start out with it.
Yeah.
Some may be stronger than others, but I think we all start out with a 6th sense, quote unquote.
Right.
And then it kind of gets buried. You said a really key word in there, bias. And that's like, you have to be super conscious of your own bias, other people's biases, and that just there's no way that there's a person out there with no bias.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so when you're approaching, you know, the field of the paranormal, investigating, you want to explore, you know, being a psychic, you know, whatever you want to do, you know, you have to understand your own bias and your own ego.
Yes.
And your intent.
Yeah.
So bias and intent are, like, in my opinion, really important. I think, you know, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that do investigations, they join teams or they make teams and they go out there, but they don't really know their intent.
Right.
And I think that's super important with any spirit work. I think you have to know your intent. Why are you investigating? Why are you wanting to go do this? Is it for thrill?
Yeah.
That's fine if you know that's your intent.
Sure.
And that's what you're doing. If it's to collect, you know, environmental data and look for anomalies because this is what you want to do and you're interested in, that's great. If you know that's your intent.
Yeah.
If your intent is to help people, right?
Yeah.
And so I think what happens is a lot of people get into it without solidifying their intent. And then where do you go from there?
Right.
You know,
you have no compass. I love the analogy of the Jack Sparrow compass that points towards what your heart wants most. You know?
But you have, where are you going to go with it? How do you know when you get there?
Yeah.
And,
how do you know you're on the right path? How do you know that you're heading in the right direction at all?
Yeah. And you have to know your intent, but recognize your bias. And that's huge. And I think that's not just with ghosts. I think you have to have that in your mind when you're looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Or UAPs, UFOs, the search for that.
Yeah.
The search for anything, right?
Yeah.
You always have that stuff in your mind and figure out. I've learned that my intent was to, looking back was to learn and to experience. My intent was to experience, and it still is.
Yeah.
My intent to experience. But to learn, and over time, discovering psychic mediumship, I've learned more that part of what I'm supposed to do is help people. And so I try and have that in my mind when I do the work that I do, is that it's about helping people, and it's about experiencing and learning everything I can, before moving on to the next phase.
Right.
Of our journey.
For me, my intent is to try to understand what I've experienced, and to move towards a better understanding of it, or just truth, and it's such a never-ending pursuit, right? Because we know very little, but that's where my compass, and to continue to experience things, of course. Yeah. I'd love to hear your story on how you discovered that you were a psychic medium. Starting, there's a really cool native through line that starts with the trip to Arizona with your grandfather, and then with the psychic medium who, unbeknownst to you, tells you that you're about to do your own psychic reading.
It was so a friend of mine that I've met and got to know over the years, Karen Fraser. She's an author. She is a really good medium, psychic. Does all kinds of things. She said something to me. I had her on my podcast quite a while ago, and she was like, "Oh, the universal 2x4 hit you in the head," and thanks for that, Karen, because that will stick with me forever, because that's what it was like. When I was 7 years old, I would go to Arizona often for the summer with my grandparents. And so they lived in Sedona. And this particular year, they had come up to Idaho, where I grew up, and picked me up, and we were driving back down. It's a long drive. And so we were in northern Arizona. And if you're familiar with the landscape there, the red rocks and all that, but it's generally flat on the sides of the highways, and you have adobe houses, kind of off the highway. We were in that sort of landscape, and out of nowhere, these Native American warriors, older looking warriors, appeared in the highway in front of us. Their backs were to us, so they were facing the way we were driving. And they turned in towards each other, like shoulder to shoulder. They turned and looked back at us. And by this point, my grandpa had slammed the brakes on, hit the brakes, and he saw him.
Right. He's trying not to hit him.
And we basically got to right where they were, and they were just gone. He's looking in the mirror as he's still trying to slow down.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the rearview mirror, nothing.
Did they evaporate, or they just vanished all of a sudden? They're just gone.
I mean, to me, at that point, I was probably cringing of waiting for impact.
Yeah.
But they were just gone.
Yeah.
And they weren't on the side of the road. They weren't running away. They weren't still there.
Yeah.
Just gone. And my grandpa looked at me, and I'll just preface, he's from a different time.
Sure.
Different generation.
Sure.
And he says, "Did you see the old Indians on the road?"
Yeah.
And
It's not so bad.
And I said, yes. And I knew my stomach sank because I knew for sure he saw him.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, well, don't tell your grandma. She'll freak out. My grandmother was on the other side of me. I was riding in the middle of the truck seat.
Oh, right.
She was on the other side taking a nap.
Sure.
She was like, don't wake her. Don't tell her. She'll get freaked out. And we never talked about it ever again.
Wow.
And I just kind of went on with my summer. But it wasn't until many years later that I went, oh my gosh.
Holy cow.
There's a connection here.
2 people saw it. It wasn't just you seeing that. That was you and your grandfather
And
seeing
my
the
grandpa.
same phenomenon.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's incredible.
Just to hear that he saw it. Yeah. And so fast forward many years later, I'm at the Oregon Ghost Conference, and at that time it was in Oregon City. I'll give a quick plug because it's a great conference. They're usually late March in Seaside, Oregon.
Cool. I'm going to go.
OregonGhostConference.com.
Cool.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's a really great conference.
Nice.
It complements the Port Gamble ones. They just fit together so well.
Nice.
So it's really good. The people are great.
Awesome.
So I was there at the Oregon Ghost Conference, and it was my first time there, and I was going to do a presentation on Port Gamble, and talk about the ghost walks and play audio and, share the stories I'd been experiencing so far. Just before going down there, at the Port Gamble Ghost Conference before the Oregon Conference, I witnessed what I think was my first visual psychic experience that I was conscious of.
Yeah.
And my good friend William Becker in Paranormal Insights, he was one of the co-founders of the Oregon Ghost Conference, so he had come up to speak at the Port Gamble Conference. He's standing in front of a big projection screen.
Yeah.
And he did a presentation, and then he started doing readings for the audience. A volunteer come up and he would do, a reading for him on the spot. And I'm noticing as he's kind of going back and forth, there's, I thought it was his shadow at first. And there was just this figure kind of behind him, but it wasn't necessarily moving the same way he was. And then when he started to do a reading for a person in the audience, he would bring him up front. And when he started doing a reading, this figure that was standing with him would basically turn into this big cloud. And it was like swirling. And then when he was done with the reading and the person would walk away to go sit down, it would collapse back down to this humanoid figure. And I was like thinking, okay, I haven't really eaten today. I'm hungry. And there
the
was
skeptical part of the open skeptic was trying to disprove.
I was like, I thought it was weird.
Yeah.
I was seeing shades of yellow and blue when this thing would diffuse. It would have colors to it. Very muted, but
kind of
color
like auras.
I know what it is now,
Yeah.
but so I walked up to him after his presentation to.
I'm so sorry. Is that what it is? An aura? Is that?
I think it's the energy.
Okay.
It's the emotion of the energy.
I've seen something like. We'll get to that later.
Okay,
but yeah.
So,
so
and
cool.
I know you've had similar type experience.
Yeah. Yep.
So I walked up to him after his presentation to let him know what I just experienced. I wanted to get his take on it because I was like, am I crazy? Like, what's going on here?
Right.
And I walked up, and another gentleman was standing there, telling him the exact thing that I just experienced and what he's seen. And I was like, what?
Once again, dual verification. 2 different nodes of consciousness experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, and I was just like, are you kidding me? I was just about to say, this is what I'm experiencing. You beat me to it. And that gentleman looked at me and said, well, now you've seen it. Now you need to pay attention. And that's always stuck with me. So fast forward a few months from that.
That's great advice, by the way. It's so awesome.
Now you have to pay attention. And I'll say you don't have to pay attention, but you should.
You should.
There's a reason for it.
It's a gift.
There's a reason for it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I go to the Oregon Ghost Conference, and I had this experience, and I kind of put it behind me. You know, like, oh, it was cool, but I put it behind me because I was up until that point very skeptical of psychics and mediums. Like, okay, that's what you think. Oh, okay, you know.
Sure.
I was pretty skeptical of it. And so I go to this conference and have a great time. And there's a gentleman there. His name is Seth Michael. And he had a little sign that said conference special readings, $25 or whatever it was, you know. And I'd never gotten a reading before. And I was like, something told me, do it. Yeah. Just do it. And I said, you know, what the hell? Yeah. I'll do this. And so I booked a time with him. And we go and we go to this separate area of the building, and we sit down, and we're right at this big window. It's kind of cool, a cool little spot. And we sit down, and he's like, well, you got a lot going on around you. Do you even know that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know? And he goes, well, hang on. And he was making notes. You know, he started writing stuff down, and he goes, well, I'm going to have you do your own reading. And I was thinking, what? Like, that's not how this works. Yeah. You know?
That's
like,
your
what?
job.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's not how this works. And he goes, do you know you're a medium? And I was like, no. And he goes, I'm going to tell you that within a year, you're going to be doing this professionally. Wow. And I was like, what? And, you know, I remember my stomach started to feel weird. Yeah. You know, and I was like, okay, this is really weird. And he goes, well, there's somebody here, and I want you to just close your eyes and tell me what you see. Just trust and close your eyes. What do you see? And so I remember I see this older Native American guy, and I said, he goes, what else? And I said, there's a horse. And what does it look like? So I describe it. It was like a tan and white Appaloosa, a horse. And I'm describing this Native American guy, what he looks like. He goes, okay, well, what's his name? And I was kind of like, I stalled out at that point. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what his name is, right? Yeah. And he shows me his notes that he wrote before we started. Native American man, long hair.
He wrote those notes before
we started. Horse, tan and white spots.
Oh my God.
All this stuff, right?
Holy
and
cow.
I'm like, and he shows me this, and I'm like, what? You know, what the hell? And at this point, a raven or a really large crow landed on the plant just outside the window, like this close to my face, looking at me.
Oh my God.
I started to like go, what's going on? I was feeling all kinds of stuff at this point. It's a rush of like, whoa, like, I just got off a roller coaster, you know, sort of feeling
kind of that we were feeling upstairs
like in the
a little
attic.
bit.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. And he says, well, your guide here is, he explained the horse, that, you know, he's there to take me where I need to go and to really get to know this horse and spend time in meditation with it. And, you know, he'll take you where you need to go, sort of thing. Yeah. And he says, your guide isn't telling me his name. He wants you to learn his name. And I had a grandfather, not the one from when I was 7, but a different grandfather come through. There was a lot of validation points. I had a grandmother that came through to say hi. And so I was like, wow, this is just the craziest experience. Yeah. So we're done. Yeah. We're going back to our vendor tables, and the name Choctaw goes, boom, pops in my head. And I said, hey, I think I got the name. I think it's Choctaw. And he goes, oh, great. Well, don't forget that. And then a little bit later, so I'm sitting there at my vendor table, like feeling like I'm loopy, you know, I'm like, whoa. Seth comes back by, and he had made these ceramic figurines and sculptures. And he goes, I have no idea why I made this last week, but now I know why. And I called it breaking through. It's for you. And he gave it to me, and what it is it's a Native American man who looks similar to my guide. Wow. With his hand reaching out. And he had called it breaking through, and I was just like, what?
So that would fall into the category of precognition, just like when he wrote down the native man,
I guess,
the horse with the white spots.
Yeah, he made this for a reason.
Yeah.
And so us meeting at this, I never met him before. He never met me.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about each other.
Yeah.
We were supposed to meet. He was like this catalyst for me. So fast forward a couple days. Well, first I called my wife and told her, I don't know what's going on. This guy tells me I'm a medium.
Honey, I'm
feel
psychic.
Weird. Yeah. And I'm like, I feel weird. I have all these emotions. I have all these names. I like, it's just too much.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you know, you're gullible, right? And I was like, well, yeah. And so she kind of put it to me like that. And so I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm feeling weird. I went on some of the tours and stuff at night, you know, down in Oregon City, with Rocky Smith and William Becker, and was just feeling stuff. I remember at one point, I asked somebody, did somebody die right over here? And they're like, yeah, a homeless guy was found dead right here. And I was like, no,
stop.
Nope. And so I get home from this conference, and I'm just still, for a couple days, I was like emotionally drunk.
Yeah.
Like just, I couldn't really keep my thoughts straight. It was a rush of everything, right?
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast recently with Duncan Trussell. He had on the producer of Mandy, who found out that he's psychic later in life, similar to you. And his connection is very emotional. He almost feels the emotions more than anything else. It's just like these overwhelming emotions.
I can relate. Yeah, so that's what I was feeling. It's just like all these emotions.
Yeah.
And so in my life, I had not ever met my biological father, and decided, well, I'll just do one last search. And if I don't find him, you know, there's social media, Facebook, you know, it's getting bigger. I was like, I'll try one last search. If I don't find him, I don't find him.
Right.
And so I knew I had a half sister. Mm-hmm. And I had seen a picture of her when she was young, so I decided to look her name up, thinking, her last name's probably different, you know. And lo and behold, she's down in Oregon, not too far from Oregon City. And because I had made new friend connections, the algorithm had opened my search parameters when I searched her name.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's got to be my sister. Same smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be her. So I looked through her friends list. Oh, my God. There's my dad. There's my biological dad. Wow. Looked the same pretty much.
Yeah.
Just grayer hair.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad, if you hear that. Anyways, I worked up the courage to send her a message. She calls me immediately. Oh my God, I knew there was another boy out there. So we start talking, and she says, I'm going to his house right now, and I'm going to put you on the phone with him. I'm thinking, whoa, this is good. Whoa. I was like nervous.
Snowballed.
Like, wait, whoa, yeah, like, whoa, okay. And he goes, what? She goes, I don't live too far from him. And she pulls up and she goes, here, you have a brother named Jeff. Talk to him. And I'm like, I have a half brother?
Yeah.
Like, whoa,
Yeah.
you know? How awkward is that for him?
Right.
Here, talk to this guy. While she goes in the house, and so my brother gets on the phone, and you know, we're both kind of like, how's it going?
Yeah.
You
Hi,
know?
dude.
I said, hey. I said, hey, my name's Pete.
Yeah.
I was born in 1979. This is my mom's name.
Yeah.
I'm from Idaho, Boise, Idaho, and I think he might be my dad. Your dad might be my dad also. I don't know. But I'm just, please know I'm not looking for anything other than I want to know the other half of myself.
Yeah.
I would like to know the other half of myself that I'd never known.
Right.
And he goes, well, let me tell you, you're part Choctaw Native. And when he said that, I about fell
The name
over.
that you received during your first psychic connection.
And so I about fell over. Ended up a couple days later, I ended up talking to my dad, biological father, for the first time, And as we kind of got to know each other, he said, "Oh, you're into the paranormal thing, huh?" I go, "I know right where you get that from. It runs deep in our family."
Oh, cool.
And so it was maybe I don't know what the purpose of all of it was, other than to maybe connect me with that side of me.
What a beautiful outcome, though.
Yeah, and
to reconnect you or to connect you with that half of yourself.
When he said you're part Choctaw, I just was like, "What?"
Yeah,
mind blown.
Yeah.
And then then after that, it was
it's beautiful.
People would come over to hang out or have dinner or whatever, and I'd be like, "Okay, who's got a great Aunt Edith?" Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Oh, did she die of this? And she looked like this? And she have a painting like, random things. Yeah.
Wow.
And I just kept getting validation, and it just kept going and going. And so my good friend Seth was right. Within a year, I was
later.
doing it. And that's, I recognize that's pretty fast. And that you should take things slower and do a lot of not just the mediumship work, but learn about death and grieving and things like that. And so I kind of went fast through it.
You were baptized by fire, so to speak.
Yeah, but I guess you could say that. But it was just interesting that what he said ended up coming true.
For sure.
And I've been doing it ever since. And I'll say it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
We're
human. We make mistakes.
We're human. Yeah. And so I always try and educate people or let them know, or when they do a reading with me, hey, there's no guarantee here.
Right.
Well,
one thing with science, to go back to that just really quickly, anything that is happens more than statistically is probable or anything that happens more than what is expected from a probability standpoint is statistically significant, right?
Yeah.
So if you're having a hit rate that's over 50-50 but above chance, that's statistically significant.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
I mean, you don't have to be 100% to be doing something that is truly amazing, like actually amazing in the truest sense of the word, like awe-inspiring,
but it's also super humbling.
For sure. To get stuff wrong or to be able to do it. Both.
To do it.
I
think to do it, to share there's a lot of things, confidence, self-doubt.
Yeah.
You battle those things a lot, or at least I do.
Right.
Maybe some others don't, but it's humble work, because it's not about, it's not supposed to be about the psychic and their ego.
Right.
It's supposed to be about spirit.
Yeah.
And communicating what needs to be communicated to whoever it needs to be communicated to.
Yeah, it's like you're the humble messenger between this other side, beyond the veil.
Yeah, and so you should be humble. I think when you're helping people, you should be humble.
For sure.
And I think it was the way, I think it was also the way I was raised by my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Who's my stepdad, but he's
dad.
My dad.
Yeah.
That's the way they raised me. And also very into science fiction, so I got to grow up in a very science fiction house.
Cool.
Which really helped keep things open. But
yeah,
after this whole experience of the Universal 2x4, then I remember what happened when I was 7, driving to Sedona, Arizona, and my God, it looks just like one of those guys I saw.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, all those times growing up where and I'll use a Star Wars reference here just because, when Obi-Wan says he just felt the death of a million people. When
he sits down on the Millennium Falcon.
Up, right?
Yeah.
Having moments like that.
Yeah.
Growing up, I had no idea what in the world it was. I was just like, why do I feel this way? And I could never explain. Looking back, it was like I had this whole retrospection, like what people describe in death is you have a retrospection of your life as you're
Right.
dying,
The
right?
life review.
It was kind of like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You know, oh my God, that's maybe what that was. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what maybe that was.
Wow.
Oh, something was always telling me, no, don't do that with your buddies. You'll get caught.
Yeah. Of that little
Maybe that
voice in
was
your
my
head.
guide, you know?
Right. And we write that off. I think the skeptics would write that off as like, oh, that's just the voice in your head. That's just your inner, your subconscious mind.
Well, I
or
thank
something
my
like that.
guides for my college years.
Yeah.
But, I think you have to be humble. But, one thing I always like to stress in this too is like, I think there are people who are that are super solid mediums that like it works for them all the time.
Yeah.
But, I think I consider myself a normal guy psychic.
Yeah.
A normal guy medium.
Yeah.
I like football. I'm a normal guy type kind of guy, I guess.
Right.
But
you're straddling two worlds. You've got one
so
foot.
it's I always say
in
there's
each
no
world.
guarantee.
Yeah.
If you're going to someone that's like on their website and everything about them says, I guarantee, 100% guaranteed, like, watch out.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that's ego.
That's not really how it works.
Right.
And, I've had plenty of readings where it was either really hard and I didn't hardly get anything, or I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And usually if it's because of me.
Mm-hmm.
Normally when that sort of thing's happening, at some point I'll just say, you know what, it's just not working. It's not working for me today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's reschedule.
Mm-hmm.
And people are usually so great to, okay, let's do it.
Well, it's that builds so much trust for you to be like, hey, I'm not providing the thing that
I
you're
wish it
coming
worked
for.
every time.
Yeah,
I wish
right.
it was guaranteed.
Right.
But a lot of that is also how much you put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your intention, going back to earlier in the conversation.
Your intention and just how much practice you do.
Yeah.
Like it does. It's not like riding a bike. I mean, you got to keep working it out. You got to keep doing it, and you got to keep working on it and trying to learn, and you learn different things. And I bet you other mediums you talk to will say that things evolve as time goes on, and how you receive information or how you perceive it and communicate it, like it comes in different.
Right. What does it feel like when you're like, what's the sensory experience of being a medium?
Man, it can be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I think it depends. Over the past number of years, I've figured out that I think I'm an evidential medium.
What does that mean?
So seeing objects, a spirit will show me their favorite painting they had up on the wall, or their favorite coffee mug, or old guys like to show me tackle boxes, jewelry, Zippos, flasks, letters, shoe boxes with letters in them.
Yeah.
They like to show me things that meant something.
What does it look like? What's the experience of seeing the object? Is it like in your mind's eye? Like
It's different every reading. Like
Wow.
you never know. I never know how it's going to come in or look or feel.
It's like a flash of an image?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll describe it's kind of like 20 movies playing on top of each other.
Wow.
And sometimes you'll just get the single image.
Yeah.
Or something will kind of pop out towards you, or
Wow.
you'll see a word like a subtitle or words, or it'll be like a marquee of words.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking
Sometimes,
about.
or sometimes you just know it.
Yeah.
You don't know how you know it, but
Like
you
a
just
gnosis.
know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things kind of come different ways.
Wow.
A lot of times I'll hear the person's laugh that I'm that I'm connecting with, and so I'll try to imitate their laugh. Over the past couple of years, I've decided. I just felt I needed to, if I'm connecting with someone, write their signature. So like automatic writing. So I just say, okay, sign your signature, and I'll do it, and then show my sitter, the person I'm doing the reading with, and a lot of times they're like, yeah, that's their signature.
Wow.
And so it comes in different ways.
Yeah.
So they like to show me objects a lot, or places places they like to be, or places of memories. and then sometimes I'll hear the voice. I'll hear in my mind's ear.
Yeah.
Not my mind's eye, but my mind's ear. I hear it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they communicate solely through emotion.
Huh.
And so that's the clairsentience. That's like your empath part.
Yeah.
And so I don't like that as much, because then I have to try and figure out what that emotion means, what they're trying to communicate by that emotion.
Yeah.
So that's harder, because that's more interpretation on my part.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying my best to not interpret, to just say what I see.
Right.
Sometimes you'll see things in foreign languages, but you know what it says?
Whoa. That's super cool.
I've had that a couple times. So it just kind of varies, you know, but like, I think you always feel the energy.
Yep.
And that's when you know you're connecting and you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
When you feel that energy, then it's pay attention. What do I see now?
Then it's downloads,
What do I feel?
downloads of information, different types of information, data, so to speak.
Well, a lot of people, that's
data.
how they just, boom, they just know.
Yeah.
You know, or they wake up one day and they just know all these things. You know, you get the download.
I have those experiences sometimes. Yeah.
So do you journal them?
No, I should. I'll start doing that.
You should. We got to have notes on stuff, right?
Yeah.
When we're talking about the
Traceability.
tools and
Yes.
stuff that I like to use,
Right.
we are our own best tool.
Oh, I did actually journal one. Yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
good,
Yeah,
good.
I did.
But we need to
Yeah.
notate what's going on, because you want to find patterns.
Right.
You want to maybe see a pattern, or you want to, reading it again, you know, write it down. You know, if you have this, you know, that experience, write down everything you can.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you're doing this multiple times, maybe you're going to identify a pattern and know that, hey, when I eat tacos and go to bed really late, I wake up with the, you know, I'm joking, but
Right,
you
of
know,
course, yeah.
identifying a pattern of something, or just to catalog it down. So like in paranormal investigation stuff, you're journaling your investigations, you're taking notes, right? You want to take notes. Now, I always say it's, if anything, to have an audio recorder so you can keep a vocal log of your experience and what's going on is a great way to go, because if you're holding a flashlight and a meter and you're trying to write in a notebook in the dark to notate readings and stuff, that's hard. Yeah. So just say what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And so same thing with like a download or a dream or a paranormal. You think you have a ghost in your house. Yeah. Write it down.
Right.
Write it down. Write the time. You know, anything you want. Like I tell people a lot when they're having experiences in their home with stuff. Write everything you can. What was the weather like? Was it raining? Was it sunny? Was it night? Was it day? Was it hot? Was it cold? What time was it? Yeah. How were you feeling? You know, anything you can think of it. And so, like with your experiences, like, you know, write them down. And I know you've been able to capture some of your experiences too, which, I mean, a lot of time when people are having an experience, a strong, you know, unknown type of experience, you forget to pull your phone out. You forget to record. You know, I've done that. Totally. Lots of times. So you're lucky in the sense that, you know, you've been able to capture some of that. But like if you're getting what you think is a download, like, why do I know this? Yeah. Why is it in my head? Why is this name ringing in my head? Write it down. Yeah. You know, because you might come down. Once you write it down, you can come back to it.
Can I run some of my experiences by you just to get your... So...
I don't know if I'll have an answer, but I'll try.
Of course. I just would love to hear your feedback on it.
Okay.
So CE5, I don't know how familiar you are.
I'm not really familiar with that, but I think it's probably something I need to look into.
Yeah, I think you should do it. I'd love to do it with you sometime. It'd be so cool.
But it's reaching out, right?
Yeah,
you're putting intent in
positive, loving intent in a meditative state, and then you're just looking up into the cosmos, and you start to see these blinking lights. I've seen it with a buddy of mine, Reed, the same guy who got me into all of this. We were just hanging out, and we started to see it even before we were doing CE5. We were just cracking jokes, and we started to see the flashes of light. And then you'll see these little orbs shoot around, you know, and they'll pulse in and out. Sure. And then, you know, I I'm going to truncate all these because I want to get you out of here on time, but I'm on the way to a wedding and I see this ball of light that's hovering out in the field, and I do film it for a little bit. And then it whips up and down, and there's this, it looks like an electricity humanoid,
Right.
like way off in the distance with like a tether coming out of the top of its head. And I receive information all of a sudden. I don't hear words necessarily, but I get these 3 messages. Sober up. I was on the amphetamine medication for ADHD. It was not doing well for me. It was almost like the main message of like, you need to do this to save your life.
Yeah.
The second one was have reverence for this, not worship, but reverence. The third message was the human ego has no place in all of this and what's to come.
Well, I mean, to me, being in the realm that I typically work in, it sounds like what a spirit guide would say to somebody. And I don't know quite what to say about what it looked like to you.
Yeah.
Is it interdimensional?
That's what I think.
You know,
That's
how
what I
to
think.
get there. It's from something we can't perceive. Maybe it's from our own plane of existence, but it's not something we generally see. And the veil lifted for you to receive this message.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. The messages, the 3 messages that you got, what did it do for you?
Completely changed my life.
That's why it happened then.
Yeah.
Whether it's an alien being, interdimensional being.
They call them non-human intelligences now, or NHI for short.
Yeah.
That's what they, in the congressional hearings that are happening. One just happened this week. This week. Yeah.
It could be anything. It could be a spirit.
Right.
Or what we think of as a spirit. All right, there's your bias right there.
Right.
When I say spirit, you pull up images in your head.
Right.
To me, the thing to focus on is the meaning it had for you and the impact that it had on you. That's where my focus wants to go.
Yeah.
And you needed that. You needed that at that time.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a cliche saying, you know, the universe provides.
Yeah.
Whether that is what we think of as a ghost or as a non-human intelligent being, an alien, an ET.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just verbal technology to describe a phenomenon. Yeah. A Bigfoot. Right.
You know,
I've had somebody tell me that was Bigfoot.
It could have been.
Yeah. Right.
It could have been.
It could have been. Who knows?
You somehow were able to experience, I guess, it in the physical world.
Yeah.
You saw something.
Yep.
A parapsychologist might say, did you see it with your eyes or did you see it with your brain?
I saw it with my eyes.
But how do you know for sure?
Well, okay.
That's
so
the beauty of a parapsychologist.
For sure. Well, so I know I saw the orb with my eyes because I filmed it.
Right, because your camera got it.
Because the electro-optical sensor picked it up.
Great
and then
answer.
Later on, but the light entity, I have to, full disclosure, I didn't film that. I was so overwhelmed with it. I do remember cars going by on the freeway, and I was like, I'm cupping my gaze.
I've seen your video. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you.
You can hear the cars going by and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, for you, man, what was the impact on you? I think that's the big your answer.
Thing. Yeah.
You needed that at that time.
Yeah.
Much like I'm learning, I needed that psychic reading
to become a medium. Seth. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's what I needed.
Yeah.
You needed that at that time. What the messages you got really remind me of what our loved ones tell us from the other side. Check your ego.
Yeah.
Be present.
Yeah.
Be well.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of general messages you typically get from the other side. They want to communicate to their loved one who's feeling lost or sad.
That's exactly where I was. Yeah.
And the impact it had on you is really, I think, important in this story.
Yeah.
It's not only what you saw, what you heard and everything, but it's the impact that it had on you. So like keep your focus there when you're like going, you know, when you go back and like dissect this in your mind over and over and why did this happen and that sort of thing. Just focus on the impact it had on you.
Yeah. Thank you. That's great medicine.
And then I think that's probably going to guide you in a way to further understanding.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, right.
It led me back here, you know,
right?
to reconvene with you. And
yeah, I mean, the messages you got were super important to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, so you should take it as that.
Yeah.
You know, our spirit guides, our guardian angels, you know, whatever that is out there, however that manifests and come through.
I think,
you know, it's
I think I can
endless possibilities.
I think I can still ask questions and receive answers.
Well, you should keep trying. You should.
I do it almost every day.
You should.
I don't talk about it very often because I don't think.
Well, start writing some of them down because that locks them in.
Yeah.
You know, within yourself. You know.
Yeah.
Write down what you can. That's all I can say is, you know, you're us humans in the search of the unknown.
Right.
Yes, we can be the most flawed, but we can also be the best tool.
Right.
And so when you think you're receiving stuff, write it down or
I will
do a little voice clip in your phone, you know, somehow document it.
Yeah. Thank you. That's wonderful.
If you
medicine.
did that for the next 3 months, imagine how much data you'll have.
Yeah. I'll start doing that.
You know, and then you've got this compilation of data that you can keep adding to. Mm-hmm. You can segment. You can, you know, segment to understand this section and then this section and what does that mean? And you'll learn stuff.
And can I check back in with you on?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's so cool. There is one other, I mean, there's a few experience, but we're running out of time, unfortunately, but there is one that I journaled. It was after the encounter. I'm in my
after the Nevada or not Nevada,
Oregon,
Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
I always want to think it's Reno, but
it was Area 51.
But all right, now bring it out.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so at Bend, Oregon. So it was after that encounter.
Back on Bainbridge.
Okay,
I'm in my home. And in the corner of my living room, it's like double archways in this like, it's more like a dining room. In the corner, I see this, the best way to describe it is like a black cloud.
Okay.
It looked like a bunch of little tiny dots, and it was like vaporous, kind of some color in there, like you were describing as the shadow.
Yeah.
And it was a figure. It was a head and then just a figure that kind of faded out.
Okay. Like a head and maybe like a kind of a shoulder?
Yes. And, and before, it's coming back to me. So before I noticed the figure, I had been listening to music. I was listening to a Rusted Root song. It was a very like tribal dance song, and I was dancing in that room. And then I heard this sound that I had heard with an ex-girlfriend also in that house, in that same location. And it was like a... And there was no object that had fallen. Like when I had heard it with my ex-girlfriend, we combed that space. Nothing had fallen. We were like, that was weird. And I'd always felt like there's a presence here.
Okay.
I was like, it's an older woman. It's an old, she's kind of nice, kind of sassy. Like I had this vibe of it. So that, I pull out my headphones because I heard that sound again, and I was like, holy shit, I'm alone this time. And I was scared.
Yeah.
And I see this, it looks like a head I mean, I don't see a face or anything at first.
You're standing?
I'm standing, yeah.
Would you say it was like your height?
A little bit higher up above me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I get freaked out. I take a step back. I put on solfeggio frequency, the love 528 hertz, the love frequency to kind of like, if it's bad, it'll repel it. I put that on and it gets more clear. I can see it more clearly now. So I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't a, malevolent thing. This is hopefully benevolent.
Yeah.
So I get closer to it and I sit down and I'm starting to, I should pull out the journal. Maybe I'll include that or something in this episode, but I have written down, like, I start to write to it and I'm like putting out, like to the journal, like I'm facing the journal to this thing.
Yeah.
And at one point it gets closer to me and I can almost make out like a face, like an actual face, still in that kind of black cloud thing though. And like the body has kind of dissipated a little bit. It's more just the face. And I saw this, how you were saying the way that you receive data, it's like, sometimes you receive like objects or something like that.
Yeah, see objects and stuff, yeah.
So I saw this like black slash all of a sudden. It was like electric black. It was like black and then went white. And then I blinked my eyes and it went away, which was odd. I'd never had that experience before. And then I got this other flash and it looked like a bunch of little dots in a berry pattern.
Okay.
And so I interpreted that as blackberry.
Oh, okay.
As like, this was the name, because I think I had written down what is your name. And I said, are you black? I was like, blackberry? Are you blackberry? And then I received a word. And the word was gai.
Okay.
Gai. I later looked up. That's Lutchute. It's tribal for this area for yes.
Oh, interesting. So
it's wild. It's a wild story.
And so this was in the home.
In my home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, it kind of sounds like an elemental type being.
Okay.
Or a really old spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, really old.
Yeah.
Like 10,000 years ago old.
Yeah.
It seems to like the electrical kind of look to it.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason I just feel like elemental or like ancient spirit.
Yeah.
That is maybe with the area, or
I think if she protected the land, like where I was,
could be. Yeah. Well, and the word too, that's really interesting.
Yeah. I didn't even know what it meant.
What else came from it? Like what?
I think it was at a time when I was really struggling with my encounter, and I don't think that she liked me at first. That's why, I was like, she's kind of sassy, a little scary, you know? And I think she saw that I was struggling, and it felt like she came to me almost as like, there is more and it's okay.
Kind of like a validation.
Yeah. And it felt a little bit like I'm watching over you, or like, I think she's a healer type was the sense that I got from her.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm just feeling like it's what it feels like to me is like an ancient spirit.
Yeah.
Which, we have spirit guides, I think, and they're not always family. They're not always blood.
Yeah.
There's people assigned to us too to help facilitate different things in our life. So she could be maybe what I would call a roamer that helps people in your situation.
Yeah.
Somebody in need.
Yeah.
For kind of what you were going through, questioning everything and
ontological shock,
questioning yourself and everything, right?
Right. Am I going crazy?
Yeah. That entity could have, could have been, a roam or someone who goes from they go from person to person that they're assigned to.
Yeah.
To help. And so maybe, this sounds so simplified, but you were on her route.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
And you were at the right time it needed to be. And,
yeah.
It's interesting in itself to think about an anomaly like that or an experience like that in the physical sense anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because, one thing I've learned over the years, when you started telling that story,
mm-hmm.
the earth is no longer in the location where it is now. It's not the same location when you started that story.
Mm.
So how does a spirit know to stay on the same place or know to be at a certain place? Because the earth's never in the same place at the same time.
It's
Think about it.
Around,
revolution,
yeah,
everything, right?
Yeah.
So when you get into the physics of it,
yeah,
how would she know to be there, or why would she be stuck to the land there, or why is a ghost stuck in a house in a certain place?
Right.
And so I think memory has something to do with that. So let's say that it is a tribal spirit, somebody who's, a tribal spirit from forever ago, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there is memory in that area, and so they know where to go.
That's what I think. That's what
memory.
it felt like, yeah.
Because physically, how do they know to go there if the earth's not going to be in that place ever again?
Yeah, and memory just being data. I love the term data. It's like, it's information. It's so much of what existence is. It's so much of what our consciousness is. It's just parsing through data. It's like consciousness is embedded in quantum time space, as Gary Nolan describes it, and we're just processing data we perceive it in a linear time. They're looking at time as a physical medium, and it's like reading a book, and you're going through your life. A book is just data. It's verbal words, right? And we're just processing now.
What's in between all that space too?
Yes, right. Exactly. And then it's like,
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's the beauty of it. How little we actually know.
I know.
And I think maybe as a final question, what do you think is beyond the veil? Because like in the UFO community, there is a rising theory, the extra dimensional theory, which is that these UFOs, these non-human intelligences, they reside in a higher dimension than we do, that physics is just starting to be able to theorize and is working on proving. You mentioned that with the Large Hadron Collider.
A para-reality,
higher dimensions. I mean, I've heard numbers from Eric Weinstein up to like 12 to like even in the 20s, like 22 or something like that, or maybe 13 and 22. I don't even
Why
remember.
not endless?
Right. Like fractalizing.
Yeah. Why not endless?
I see that as potentially the golden ticket to an explanation of UFO phenomenon, paranormal phenomenon.
Yeah.
Perhaps that is the veil, is across into these higher dimensions, and we're just these little creatures, if you will, that are able to have some sort of sensitivity and be like, oh, I can receive data from this higher place. Or within, if you look at a tesseract, that Carl Sagan cube, you're actually going in. So it's like a higher dimension might fold in. Yeah. And it's like infinitesimally small. Maybe it's quantum,
Yeah. I mean, so your question is like, what is beyond the veil?
Yes, essentially, in a very long-winded way. Yes.
And I think this applies to not just quote unquote ghosts.
Yeah. Right.
I think it applies to what we think are UFOs or cryptids or alternate timelines or everything. I guess this is going to sound maybe kind of weird, but and I'm speaking just from my experience, the love, I think, is what's behind all of it.
Yeah. I
think that's what is the driver.
I don't think that's weird at all, man. I think that's awesome.
Like the universal energy, like, I don't know, because mostly what you get with human ghosts, human spirits is the light, man. It's, you
Yes. Yeah.
know, I call it the soul's car wash. When we go through the light,
Yeah.
it washes everything that held us down in physical form.
Yeah.
Sickness, mental health, you know, stress, anxiety, whatever held us down, sore joints, you know, our bad attitude, you know, whatever held us down, we go through that light, it's washed off, and we're in a sense a part of that light. And what that light is, I don't know, but spirits are a part of that light if they've gone to it.
And to get religious, I mean, so many encounters with angels and higher entities begins or is features some beam of light, some
sort of light source.
Sort of light source. Yeah.
Well, and there's you know, people who haven't gone to the light, and I say people meaning humans.
Yeah. Right.
That don't go to the light or haven't yet, and that doesn't make them a bad spirit. That doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Do you think that's why they're stuck around? Do you think that's what?
I believe things could be stuck.
Yeah.
But I think the better way to say it is they're stuck in that memory wherever they're at. Because I
stuck
think
in that data set. In that
our memories are our guide in the afterlife. We go where our memories are. And you might say, well, what about somebody with Alzheimer's or severe dementia?
Yeah.
Our guides on the other side, when we cross over, should be there to grab that person and take them to the light and wash it off. And then they become whole again.
Yeah, it's like a malfunction. It's like your memory is the data that's stored on the hard drive, and the brain is just the chip, the motherboard, right? The processor that connects the data to the API, which is, or to the screen, which visualizes the data. Yeah. So maybe it's just a processor issue, but the data is all stored on the hard drive. So maybe that's what your soul is a big data.
You might
set.
look at a place where something bad happened.
Yeah.
To somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that spirit's stuck there. No, their memory is stuck there. And so they come to that.
I've heard that before.
They live that memory.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
They can live that memory, but they also maybe don't realize they don't need to.
Yeah.
And especially if they haven't gone to the light, they're typically referred to as like an earthbound spirit. And you could be waiting for your loved one to pass. I'll say my grandpa that I went to Arizona with, I feel like he waited for his wife, my grandma. Oh. They were together for so long, loved each other so much. I think he waited for her. Yeah. And when she passed, they went to the light together. And then had come back now as part of the light. And or maybe your unfinished business.
Yeah.
There's your Patrick Swayze reference.
The poltergeist kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like, maybe you've got you're worried. You're worried about your loved ones, and so you're waiting to try and make sure this thing happens for them, or maybe make this thing go a certain way. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Right. Doesn't mean it's a bad spirit or an evil spirit.
I see. Okay, so it's not necessarily a negative thing that holds them down. Yeah. It could be like they have a task or they love.
Someone dies instantly. Doesn't know it.
Yeah. Oh.
They're in that location, not realizing they're reliving this memory, this time,
That would make sense for like soldiers. They'll see soldiers like apparitions of soldiers that seem to just be like loading a cannon or something like that. And
I was at Fort
Civil
Casey
War.
up on Whidbey Island, and I know I was seeing it psychically, but guards on the catwalk going back and forth at the bunkers out there.
Wow.
If you die instantly somewhere, maybe you don't know you're dead. Yeah. Your energy's going to be there unless somebody comes from the other side and gets you and says,
"Hey, buddy.
Hey, let's go do this. Let's go take care of you."
Yeah.
And I do believe spirits can be stuck in places. Mm-hmm. But I think they maybe just don't want to leave, or don't know they can leave, or they are pissed. Yeah. And they're like, I'm not leaving. Yeah. But, those spirits need healing. They need help.
Right.
But it doesn't, when you hear about somebody who hasn't gone to the light, I just hope you don't automatically think it's a bad entity.
Yeah.
Because I will say, I think pretty much most all of my experiences have been with human ghosts, and I say this all the time. We have to remember that they were people once too, and that helps guide our understanding of what they do and why they do it. Because we have to remember, we have to look in the mirror. We're human, just like they were.
Right.
They're acting this way. I would act that way too, if this,
Yeah.
And so we have to remember that human spirits were people once too. I don't know about other spirits, who knows what they are, but so Beyond the Veil, I think it's I think overwhelmingly, at least in the human experience, it's about love, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Warmth, belonging, peace. That's what it's supposed to be about.
I think so too. Can I tell you a little bit of a synchronicity moment? The title of the working title of the documentary that I'm putting together with Joey is Love and Light.
Yeah. I mean, that's why people say it, right?
Yeah.
It sounds cliche, and I don't know that I'm defining it properly, but that's the word that comes to mind.
It's a verbal technology to describe maybe a gnosis, like an understanding of this thing that seems to transcend beyond dimensions and time. It's interstellar. Merv,
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, like, I hope you and people watching this show, like, take that thought as a reminder to hug the ones you got.
Yeah.
It's not what you have, it's who you have.
Yeah.
And even if you feel like you don't have somebody, you do somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a spirit guide. Everybody's got somebody on the other side. So if you feel alone out there, you're not. You just have to think of a person you love. And if they're passed, if you think about their memory and the memories you have with them, that is a great way to connect with them, because they can connect with that memory.
That's beautiful.
And so for everybody out there, like, take this moment to be present. Take this moment to, if you're with somebody, say, hey, be there in the moment with them. Don't be thinking about tomorrow. Don't worry about what you said yesterday or whatever. Be there in the moment with them, because that's, part of what it's all about, is being present. And doing mediumship, it's all about, for me to get in the zone, and I hope this helps some people, is to be present. If you're totally present, you can be super focused.
I can't think of a better way to end this show. That is beautiful, Pete.
Thanks, Leo.
Yeah, I got love for you, man. This has been fantastic. You are a beautiful soul, and I so appreciate the opportunity to record here.
Well, we'll have to do it again.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell the fine folks at home where they can find you, your show as well.
Thanks. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah. So check out portgambleparanormal.com. That's where you'll find info on taking my ghost walk tour or participating in a paranormal investigation. I do special investigations. If you are interested in the Port Gamble Ghost Conference, that's November 7th through the 9th,
Nice.
portgamble.com. And then I've recently relaunched my show, The Paranormal Pete Show. I'm on the Sacred Spiral Network.
Awesome.
And so if you go on Facebook, just look up Paranormal Pete Show, you'll find me, or you can look it up on YouTube as well. And so I was on hiatus for a couple of years from the show, but glad to be back. And so I just really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, and it's always fun to talk to you. And since we had really last connected, you've had all these experiences, and so like you're like primed and like open for things. So be careful, take things in your own time,
take notes,
journal when you can, but take the as big a steps as you want, or as little a steps as you want. you know, but thanks again, man. This has been great.
Dude, thank you so much again.
Absolutely.
Because we now ships on the scales on day. Because we groups are spell. What? The sea our boats so. Yeah, they sure she went. That's not so wet. And then he ships on the beach to see better.